Hey Aries, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for March 10th, 2025. This is for Aries. Flash shuffle coming out for Aries. Let's see what's going on. So Aries, all right, we have your higher self and we have fear. Some of you may be in a space of allowing your negative thinking to take way. This would be like coming up with alternative scenarios for the past, focusing on things that you can't really do anything about. These would be things you have to just accept as what it is. But you may be going back on those things, going, it may be, if I could have done this or if I could have done that, then things would be different. If I would have went there, if I would have said this, if I would have called that person out, if I would have taken advantage of a situation when I had the chance, all that kind of thing. But they're saying that you've got to accept what it is, and also accept that it just wasn't the right time. Even if you could jump into a time capsule and go back, the same thing would have happened, or something similar would have happened. Like the actual situation would have ended the same, but it would have been different. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie with Ashton Kutcher. There were other actors and actresses in the movie, but at the time, that's all I can remember of the butterfly effect. No matter what he did, he kept going back in time. No matter what he did, someone still got hurt. So he had, the only thing he could do was extricate himself from the situation. Leave the situation. It would have saved everyone. And so, I don't know, that movie really stuck with me. And I think that came out like in the late 90s, early 2000s. But however it goes, it applies to this. And they're wanting you to understand that the reason why a lot of this didn't work or something did not work is that you were needing to have your freedom. You needed to be open to other possibilities you wouldn't have been had you been in the scenario, in that relationship, at that job, or whatever it is that you may have felt that you lost. Some of these things are not necessarily that you lost them, but it may have been the opportunity or something about the situation. And a lot of why you feel the way you feel is because you are feeling what others feel about it. So that would, because they're showing that you are empathetic, but you're also collecting their emotions or people's emotions. This also may play a part. Perhaps you may have held on to like a scripture or a belief, like a spiritual belief or something, that if certain things happen this way, then that means XYZ. Mm. Because I'm seeing, even if this is a relationship, the real reason why that relationship wasn't going to work is because your beliefs did not align. Your spiritual beliefs or your religious beliefs. It's time for you to diversify. And maybe also too, for some of you, this would be the vibe of like you are attracted to a certain type of person, you're attracted to certain types of work or a certain lifestyle, and it's time to diversify. It's time to step out of your cultural comfort or your habitual comfort and try something else, because whatever it was or whatever happened at all, not the right time for it at all. That wasn't it. And it could have been that you tried something different then and it didn't work out. Maybe there wasn't enough money in it. That's another thing too. Because with the Four of Cups, Four of Swords, Knight of Wands, and the Moon with your higher self, that speaks a lot about how there's a discomfort with uncertainty. There's a discomfort with it. There's not knowing whether you should go or not go, do or not do, say or not say, causes a lot of discomfort, it seems. It also looks as though you may have been limited for a while, and now that you have freedom, and it's difficult to be comfortable with. What is it called? Is it called Stockholm Syndrome? Now, I'm not saying that that's what you have, but it's akin to that. Stockholm Syndrome, I believe that's what it's called, right? Where you've been captive and you start to fall in love with your cage and your captor. And not to say that you're falling in love with it, but it also kind of applies to the fact that sometimes we get caught up in the limitations that we become comfortable with it. They're also showing me someone who has been institutionalized for a while, and then they go out into the free world and they're just like, I have freedom. I've always wanted freedom, but I'm uncomfortable with it now. I don't feel safe. I would much rather be institutionalized again, because at least I know I will have, a roof, food, companionship, that kind of thing. Fear is death and Five of Pentacles. This would be an energy of afraid that you have to make a lot more changes to overcome your obstacles or overcome challenges. There's a fear of having to be adaptable. I keep seeing someone who's uncomfortable with their freedom now. Angel number 2323 is here, and it's difficult to accept some truth. When that comes out, it's very difficult. Someone is having a hard time accepting a truth. This breaks down to a singular one. If you have a life path one, that may be more intensified for you. uh, mm, 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 mm. They're saying until you get tired of dealing with it when 2323 comes out. Like when you get tired of feeling depressed and restrained, then you will make some decisions for yourself that allow you more freedom. You have to live life for yourself, okay? Life is all about passion, and if anyone's feeling restrained, that's not passion. That's not even an obligation, Listen, and once the thing is, it's like once you make this decision to accept things as they are and not try to come up with, maybe if I could have done this or that, maybe this, whatever the case is, feeling as though to some degree that it's your fault, that you got to hurry up and do something because, to some of you may even not be eating well. You may not even have an appetite when all this comes out. You need to make some changes, and the changes you need to make are understanding that you have charisma, right? That a lot of the feelings that you're feeling are not really you. It's like you're sucking in, soaking in everything around you, the environment you're in. They may be the ones that are struggling with something, having a hard time based on their beliefs. They may be actually held back by their religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs. And that is a thing. I've watched people put a lot of limitations on spirituality, and I find that to be interesting, because I'm like, you broke free from organized religion only to create organized religion out of spirituality. It's interesting to me how we are creatures of habit. But you make some changes, which a lot of these changes are just by fully accepting your situation. The world around you will follow once you accept. It's like it'll follow, especially as you start making decisions for yourself. Automatically things will change. It's not to say that you don't make decisions for yourself, but some of you may be making decisions based off of what you believe about why a situation happened the way it did, and that maybe you could change it. Maybe you could do something about it. Um, but you have to just accept it. There's nothing you can do. But you know what I mean? There's something about this. The honoring path, the world, and the hermit would speak about someone's intentions. It's like, I intend to rise above this. I'm seeing someone wanting to rise above a situation, but also to learn and apply those lessons in the next phase or the next leg of your journey. The right thing to do would be to accept the situation, right? And the hermit is to look back at things and go, yeah, well, that's what happened and this is what is, but I've become a better person for it. This is part of the reason why Spirit wants you to diversify. They want you to, explore other beliefs, explore other cultures, explore other ways of doing things. It will expand your horizons. You need to be open, communicate with others. And maybe, I know a lot of people too. I grew up And I had a lot of Baptist friends and relatives, and it's like, if you're not going to their church, then you're not, part of their little circle. I was even Mormon for a good bit of my life, man, over a while. And I almost started to feel towards the end that I was in a cult, because, and I'm not calling that place a cult, trust me, but I felt that way because it seemed like you didn't have friends outside of church. You just didn't. If you did, then your whole goal was to get them to come to the church with you. You know, like, oh man, they're not worthy, or temple worthy, or whatever the case is. And some of you may be looking at this and saying, I've graduated past this belief. I've moved past it, or I understand it now differently. And some of you too, I'm seeing, even with the religion aspect of things, that some of you may feel that now that you are doing something else, or living a different way, that you are not worthy or saved, or, you know what I mean? There's something about that as well. Loss is Knight of Cups and the Six of Cups. And what you may lose is the goal that you had in the past, right? That would say that it was unfulfilling anyway, but there was something you were trying to reach or attain, and now that's lost. You may no longer want certain things, but you're still haunted by something that it's hard for you to just accept, that maybe it wasn't right, maybe something wasn't real, maybe there was always something missing from the situation you were in, and it's definitely not the right time. At the time it was right. Now is not the time. It's not right for you anymore. That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. You have the freedom and power to create the life you desire. It is not lost to you. You need to incorporate the color plum, or the fruit, or the scent. Even the scent is amazing to me when added with different floral or fruity scents. It smells really good. But either way, that color or that fruit is like, it vibrates on this frequency of overcoming challenges. It opens the door to be able to, if it was at one point insurmountable, this can kind of help facilitate that frequency, that vibration. And I'm also seeing that you would need to make potpourri to clear your way for your new life and plant seeds for a new beginning. Okay, so these flowers that you would use is snapdragon, carnation, marigold, rose, cyclamen. You would put these. So what you would do is you would put them in a bowl and sprinkle them with like some drops of geranium, clove, and cinnamon oil, and put this on like the south point of your altar, if you have an altar, or the south point of your home. Of course, most of these cell phones, these smartphones, come with compasses. But if you know your directions, you know where the sun sets, so you're able to go, oh, it sets in the west, therefore the south is this way. Like if west is on my left, then it's behind me. Sorry about that. You wouldn't, it's easy to figure out where. But do this, and it will help you to usher in path clearing, road opening, new beginnings. They want you to feast. Someone is starving themselves, or when you're going through stuff, you're not hungry. Look into your Venus placements and Gemini placements. A lot of that has to do with the communicating with love, understanding and differentiating what is being communicated to you when it comes to love. Because I feel as though some people, they don't necessarily love others. They love them for the fact that we believe the same thing. I mean, that's part of where, I guess that's why Spirit brought that up, because I remember it's like you weren't allowed. It wasn't even like a spoken thing. It's like, oh, they're not a member, so therefore you know, you can only do so much, you can only share so much, you know. You wouldn't even trust people outside of the church, you know. And so I don't know if that's something, or if you have a coven, or if you're like in a group going to a mosque or a temple or something, there may be something about that that's, you're realizing, I want to diversify, I want to learn new things, I want to elevate and become someone who's a little bit more evolved. And so Spirit's asking you to do so, and to realize that you're not cursing yourself or damning yourself for doing so. And I'm not laughing, I'm saying, I'm kind of smirking or giggling for myself, because for a little bit you do kind of go, you get shell shocked a little bit, like, okay, I'm definitely going against XYZ. But either way, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, a Virgo, a Scorpio, a Cancer. Those are the main signs. I'm also seeing Pisces, Aries, another Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So you could be a Pisces, Aries cusp dealing with a Cancer, Leo cusp. We have Leo, Virgo cusp. Scorpio, Sagittarius cusp, Sagittarius, Capricorn cusp. But if you're not dealing with those signs, which you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.